Dangerous morning for much of southeastern Texas.
Now, between Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, Maria, California's October wildfires, it has been a rough few months. And joining us now is business weather expert Paul Walsh.
Hey, good morning, Paul, and thanks for joining us. Now, according to NOAA, we've officially had 15 weather events this year that have resulted in greater than $1 billion in economic impacts. And you know what? The year, we still have, what, about 10 weeks to go this year. First, can you explain how NOAA will measure these types of impactful events?
Sure, Paul. So there's an organization within NOAA called the National Centers for Environmental Information. And what they do is they count two things. They look at a number of events, separate events that are going to impact us with more than $1 billion of economic damage. And then the second piece of that is actually measuring what the total impact was. And to put that into perspective, since 1980, which is when they started doing this, there's been 218 separate billion-dollar events. And when you add all of that up since 1980, it comes out to be about $1.2 trillion. It's even hard to say. To put that into perspective, according to what we've just gone through, we're now, as you noted, at 15 storms that are more than $1 billion. More than likely, that'll be 16 as soon as we get the stats from the California fire. And what is really staggering is the fact that we're probably looking at another $250 billion, or in other words, $250 billion of economic impact just from the storms that we've seen over the last couple of months. So just a staggering, staggering impact.
All right, we're going to make it a little bit more staggering, because how far-reaching really will these effects of these disasters be on our economy? Because you've got time scale and you've got geography as well.
Yeah, exactly. And Maria, it's hard to overestimate how big of an impact this will be on us for many, many years to come. Of course, for the areas that were immediately impacted, they're feeling that right now. For example, in the California or in the Bay Area, they're going to be seeing that real time and for a long time. But the rest of the country will start to see impacts that will be impacting us slowly. It'll be impacting a lot of the things that we do in terms of where we spend our money and how we spend our money. And I think it's really been a watershed year, and I think that that's going to trigger a lot of sort of gradual changes to our economy as we continue to sort of prepare for more of these kind of events in the future.
Let's talk about those changes, because one thing that comes to my mind is seeing all the damage from the hurricanes and the fires. Insurance rates have got to go up. What other changes could we see?
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure over time we're going to be spending more for insurance. It's going to cost us more. It's going to impact where we live and how we build our homes. Of course, we're already seeing impacts in terms of our energy infrastructure and the kind of energy that we use and how we spend our money. I think the positive side of this always is that there's a lot of new technologies that are coming out. Of course, weather forecasts and our ability to understand what's going to happen are getting better. And also the technologies in terms of us being able to prepare and anticipate and react to those changes are becoming more sophisticated. More and more businesses are using artificial intelligence, believe it or not, to be able to really understand how the weather changes are going to affect either our government or a business entity and make changes real time to be able to deal with it. So those are the kind of sort of resilient technologies that we're going to be seeing over the next 10, 15, 20 years as we continue to sort of face these kind of high impact storms and events.
Oh, all right. Paul Walsh, as always, we appreciate your perspective. And again, you talk about all these storms have hit where lots of people have lived. Housing, the impacts go on and on and on.
And on and on and on. So
Yes.
we'll have much more of that.